So my guess is that the staff will be happy that this was a good work day as far as Mother Nature is concerned. Nothing really stood out today. Miles Jack doing a lot of side work. Don't know what was going on there. A lot of running today. That interests me. The return of Marquise Lee. I didn't see him. I don't know if it was a travel situation, if that'll be commented on today, or perhaps Doug Marrone did say something about that this morning. If he did, I missed it. I saw Richardson back in practice today. You're still without Jalen Ramsey. You were still without Leonard Fournette. And it's getting to the point now where all of a sudden that's beginning to stick out. Well, just a little bit. That's a work that's now being seen.
And you heard from Todd Wash, but Todd Wash was very quick to say that Jalen Ramsey is getting his work in. He's up in Tennessee. He has no hesitation in wondering what's going on or when he'll be back. He said he will be back, has every bit of faith in him. Leonard Fournette, we'll get to the story, but a great story with Leonard Fournette picking up the tab to make sure that the Reigns Vikings football team,
how about that?
They were able to get their rings, their championship rings. He was the one who originally donated a lot of his weights, had them gold-plated from one of his supplement sponsors and outfitted their whole weight room. So that was a cool story. But Fournette's doing his own thing. He's going to play or have his own schedule. And we're seeing the same thing with Jalen Ramsey. The Miles Jack working to the side thing is a little curious, but even Todd Wash said that's no big deal.
If curious is a word.
If the coaches say it's no big deal, what I'm wondering is, if it's starting to stick out or become a big deal, is it because we're making it? Mm-hmm. And that's where, look, we're on the sideline or in the end zone. We're not in the locker room. So if it's not a big deal to the people in the building, does it matter that folks outside of the building continue to discuss it? That's the key to me. It's the teammates and it's the coaches. And from everything I've heard, the coaches, if anything, the coaches might get tired of answering the question. Right. But even A.J. Boye said he considered going to Tennessee and working with Jalen and his dad Lamont.
And they've all communicated. At least that's the indication we're given.
Yeah, and listen, the world's not going to stop. I'm not a huge fan of the expression "it is what it is," but bingo, that's basically it. No one's commenting on it, but they're two of your better players, and they're not there. I'd be surprised if they are there tomorrow for session number 6. Do they return next week, or do they wait until mandatory mini camp? As far as the Miles Jack situation is, that could be very normal. It could be just a maintenance type of situation, a conditioning type of situation. I was curious about it, but I'm not concerned about it, if that makes any sense.
Well, no, I think it does. I think I'm gonna hit a panic button when we get to the point where pads are going on, preseason games are taking place, and you don't have your full complement of players. Even last year, you didn't have your full secondary together for any one point during the preseason. Then when they rolled it out, when it counted, then obviously you saw the makings of the Jackson 5 and how great that secondary unit was. But right now, I got to believe that Ramsey's working hard. Boye maybe had a commitment, decides to come back. Fournette's still doing what he needs to do to make sure that he's better. They're all going to be here, I would think, by the time that mandatory minicamp rolls around.
Everyone's in shape.
Yeah.
Who's the last guy who wasn't in shape? Malarkey called out Mercedes Lewis. You can go back to Mike Thomas.
Well, Malik was mentioned last year as coming in a little over.
Okay, yeah, there was a little bit of concern there. Mike Thomas looked like he had clearly lost a step and a half, going back, 5, 6, whatever it was, training camps ago. They all show up in shape. I don't think that is an issue at all. Does anyone really believe that Leonard Fournette or Jalen Ramsey are not going to be in shape? It just comes back to what we've talked about all along. Should they be there with their teammates?
I think that's the bottom line, is you're trying to create that synergy, the commitment level, and I feel like I don't like making excuses for players that say they're there all the time and they should be there no matter what and all that kind of stuff. But I do feel like there is a short enough off season, because once you come out of the euphoria of getting that close and playing that deep into the postseason, you got a little time off. You may have that time to maybe get a little off-season cleanup surgery, whatever it is, and then you're back and you got to start working out. You got to start being part of the team. Well, then before you know it, you got a little time off and training camp is here, and it's just there's so little downtime for these guys, and they have their own routines that they want to follow. Jaguars Today was talking about this earlier. Ben Roethlisberger was critical last year of one of the stars, Le'Veon Bell, for not showing up. Well, then he doesn't show up this year.
See,
okay,
so my point is shut up. It doesn't matter. When the stuff that's mandatory, I'll be more concerned. What did Nick Saban say yesterday? That was great.
Mouse manure.
You can put it mouse poop to elephant poop.
Mouse poop is them not being here when they don't have to.
Yeah.
The being up to your ears is when one of them's out there writhing in pain during training camp and he's going to miss 6 weeks, or Jalen doing something to his knee when he first got here, or Allen Robinson hurting that foot. That's the stuff, that's the big deal that they're worried about. They want to roll out there with that 53, and they want everybody to be healthy to get the season rolling.
The difference here is that no one said anything.
Yeah.
No, I mean, no one's played the role of Ben Roethlisberger.
No
one's come out and said they need to be here.
Right. No one's.
And that's exactly why I don't know if it's an issue or why it's even. I know it's something we have to discuss, but to me, it's not a big deal, man. If they don't think it's a big deal, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, you know, it may not, but it's a good conversation piece on the 31st day of May.
Sure.
2018.
Yeah, they're either there or they're not.
You know, I mean, yeah, I don't think that this changes whether or not Jalen or Leonard will be ready on opening day for the New York Giants. I don't think it changes it at all. But again, it's a good conversation to have today in the final day of May.
Yeah, and they're trying to feed off of the success last year where you were trying to pull yourself out of the rack and get fired up to come back and try and improve on what was a 3-win season or a 2-win season or a 4-win season. Now they've got something that they can show the hard work can result in this. And so, you know, Coughlin probably wants them all to be there. Doug wants them all to be there. But Doug said, I'm going to let these guys speak for themselves. I'm going to let them tell you why, you know, whatever the issue was. And so I think he's handling it the way he should. And when it gets further along and you have mandatory stuff and they're not there, then you might have a little bit of an issue.
And there's some people, like, if you look back, just go back in history, one of the main guys I remember was Tony Bracken. Tony Bracken, yeah, he worked here and he lived here, but Tony Bracken lived in Texas.
Yeah, he was a rancher.
Right. So, you know, so the thing is when he doesn't have to, there are a lot of people that are totally different. One guy may totally, absolutely live here all the time and maybe just go visit where he's from for a couple of weeks. And then other guys may just kind of live here during football season and they live somewhere else.
T-Brock got some work done here as well.
Yeah, but
in a lot of different areas.
He was, okay.
Yeah, he was a man who used to love to run and rip. I don't think there's any doubt about it.
He's the first guy that I remember when I realized, and this is when I was hanging out in the clubs a lot, he was the first guy that I remember the dress codes in clubs didn't mean crap because they would look at guys like us. And eventually I knew a lot of people. So, you know, you kind of get in and you just dap guys up or whatever, but they look guys up and down to make sure they were dressed properly.
Yeah, he regrets that.
T-Brack would come into the club about 10, 15 minutes before last call with shower shoes, gym shorts, and a T-shirt. Yeah. He let me know that when you are who you are, dress code don't mean squat.
Yeah. And then he tell them all to come on back.
He told me he regrets it. I think I interviewed him about 7 or 8 years ago. And he was out in his ranch in Texas. He's born again. Mm-hmm. And he said that he regrets the extra nonsense that he was a part of while he was here in Jacksonville.
Well,
I mean, he came out and mentioned it.
Yeah.
I think I asked any regrets, you know, one of those type of questions, and he's the one who mentioned to me and on our air here at 1010XL about the way he was while he was a player off the field.
I don't regret nothing.
Well, there were 2 and 3 night parties.
I'm just, I just grew up.
Well, he used to have some legendary parties.
Yeah, good times. Midday Chalk will come back and deal with the headsets. We have 3 headsets in here. Nick says 20 is not enough.